And welcome into another live edition of Monday Night Real Spiel. Trevor Kelsey here with you. Oh, man, we're going to be distracted right off the bat here in a second. Back for a second week, though. Give him props. KJ with us here right below me to the corner in a different view. That is him. Will, straight from his audition in Samuel Jackson's Broadway show in the park of Black Snake Moan, we've got Roman Kelly joining us back here. He was out a week, but he is back, ladies and gentlemen. People, we've got listen. All right, right off the bat, I know we talked about this before the show, and we are going to get into because it is game week. As Sinead O'Connor once said, it's been 7 months and 3 weeks. Game week is here, and nothing compares to it. And I want to talk EKU blowout. I want to talk about final records. I want to talk about non-conference basketball. But right off the bat, the screen picture you see before we come on the air, I don't know. It is a work of art in the way that Picasso does a painting that you don't know what the fuck you're looking at, but you think it's beautiful. Like, I have just this like Hodor meets Tupac thing going on. Roman looks like he's just like in the Righteous Gemstones, just welcoming everyone to drink in the Kelly. And Will, I don't know if there's a better PC word to say special ed look you have on your face. I mean, you kind of look like you're asking Johnny Knoxville, when the fuck did we go to for ice cream? I mean, KJ, you might be the best one here because you're not in it. So you might have just avoided it all because, man, I don't know what to say about that. And I'll tell you what, if this football season is entertaining for Louisville fans as that picture is to me, then this is going to be one hell of a season, my friends. That's all. I will say that. Roman, we haven't seen you for a week. How you been?
Feeling good. Been good. Got a lot of things happening in life. Got some insurance. Got some play-by-play things happening. A PA announcing things happening. MCing Cole Sherman's camp. Getting to meet U of L players. All the things that happens when you're trying to make a name for yourself. You get to be involved in some stuff, but I'm feeling good. I'm ready to talk Louisville football. I'm ready to predict some stuff. How are you feeling?
I'm good, and now that sounds awesome. I'm loving that you led with you got insurance amongst that great list
Health
of
insurance,
things too.
Medicaid.
That was the best part. Like you're doing PA stuff, which is cool. You're meeting players. You're doing interviews. but you got insurance, and that's all that matters. Will, how's your travels taking you this week? Have you been on
Both.
the road or just been staying at home? Maybe you got frozen on me or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what.
10 seconds.
Because guess what? You had the same look you have in the opening picture. You just had on my screen, like that look, like you're like trying out for Lenny and Mice and Men. I don't know. I don't know any other more references to put a hat on a hat and tell people what I'm trying to say over here. Will froze up for a second, so that was interesting. Or maybe I froze
So did
up.
you, Trevor.
Okay.
You had a mad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
KJ, how are you doing, sir?
That's real Spiel for you.
Man, good, man. It's just school, work, but it's game week, man. So this is the best I've felt since January, I guess. So can't complain.
We should be a little more pumped up, right? Because it's game week. I mean, this is like this is putty paint in the face. This is what it's all about. Right?
It is. The start of what could be something great.
It is.
All right. Well, let's look at week one right off the bat. For those want to hang out with us, of course, you can comment on the message. We'll always stop and pause for whatever to answer any kind of questions or comments you might have. EKU right off the bat, the Colonels, which, by the way, if you tried to put that name, as I told you last week, in the 2K24 team phrase, you get told it's in inappropriate language, but not inappropriate for this Kentucky's Division II Colonels. So they're coming to town, 38-point favorite Louisville. Guys, let's be honest. I mean, if there's any reason to have any worry about this game, then you're going to be worried about a lot of games this year. This should be a blowout. This is a game where I think Louisville covers in the first half. We get to see a 5-quarterback system in this game, and we're going to find out like which Trinity third-string running back or fifth-string running back we have on the roster as a walk-on because his dad's a doctor. That kid's going to play. All that's going to happen in this game. Beautiful thing to do. It's fun always to see. You know, kind of get that quick bang out of your system before you find the girl you really love. Roman, we haven't heard from you in the longest. What do you got? What do you see for this week one?
Week
right
one, I'm heavy on the Cards. I think we cover in this spread that's sitting at 38.5, I believe, right now. I think Cards roll here. This isn't an EKU team that should be causing many problems at all. Now, I do think there's a lot of people feeling like this should be a blowout, like it's going to be a blowout and should be a blowout, but feeling like it's going to be like a scoreless for EKU kind of a blowout and us in that 60-plus range like Austin Peay last year. I don't know if it's going to look like that in game one. I kind of feel like it's going to be in that 55, like that 54 to 56 to 50 range, or 56 to 10 kind of a range, right? I do think that EKU going to find one way in the end zone at one point, probably after we've made those substitutions and have gotten some backups in there and it's less fluidity in our offense and the run game probably not looking like what it does in the first half. And I do think they get a score in, and at least one series they end up getting a field goal as well. I do think that they find a way to get at least 10 points up on the board, but I don't think it's any more than that. And I do think we're obviously north of that 45 to 50 kind of a range.
Will, what do you say?
63-3. I don't think there's much else to it. It's going to be an absolute blowout. None of the starters necessarily, at least the most important ones, will be playing beyond the first half, like Trevor said. So a similar win to Austin Peay last year.
KJ?
Yeah.
Black cleanup for us. What do you hear?
Same thing.
Should we be scared?
No, we're not gonna be scared. I do agree with Roman though. I do think it could be less, a little bit below that 60. Kind of just complete utter shutout range. I do think, and because next week James Madison, that's a game where, I mean, expectation could be that you're playing your starters all 60 minutes. So I do think the backups come in at the absolute latest, all second half. So, but it'll be easy work.
Love it.
Do you think the offense is held back a little even more vanilla in this game because you've got James Madison coming in who could be a viable
I think
threat?
that absolutely, yeah, that could be a thing for sure. And then maybe you're just seeing a little bit more experimentation. Yeah, a little bit more of a handcuff kind of.
Well, that says so. I think it's clear to say I think everybody 1-0 for Louisville starting the season.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, good. No reason to accuse anybody of being on heroin then. All right, so that leads us to the front up, the one that could be a scary game. Could be. It depends on what kind of fan you are. James Madison, I can't remember the coach's name. He was first-year coach there last year. I'm drawing a blank on it. I'm sorry, I'll do that a lot. I'll draw a blank on some of the players' names, but I do know they brought back almost everybody significantly, especially the quarterback and running back, off that team last year that did win 8 games. For the record, I had some worries about Jacksonville State last year too, and that had ended up not being any reason story about James Madison's a better team than that. It's Friday night. The place should be rocking. I'll say right now, I think this is a game where Louisville, if they want to fart around, it could be interesting down to the wire. But Louisville, no matter what, in there should not lose this game unless they're playing a C- or worse game. Louisville goes to 2-0. KJ, let's start with you on the James Madison, the Dukes.
Yeah, I do think, like you said, they brought back a lot offensively. I do think they could put up some points, but I think ultimately what you're looking at here is if we come out and we take this seriously, I don't think it should be a problem really at all. If they want to mess around, like you said, I could see it entering the fourth quarter, maybe 31-17, but I don't really think we're going to be stressed. I think we should take care of business.
Roman, Will, either one. Pick you pick.
I'm with KJ there. I think we take business. Now, Matthew Sluka is the quarterback for James Madison. That's the quarterback who, if I'm not mistaken, started out with UNLV last year and got to a really hot start, like six or seven touchdowns or something like that in like three games. The first 2 or 3 games of the season, I believe. I don't remember how many it was, but and then the guy who did come in to replace him ended up having pretty good production throughout the season as well. So it kind of ended up maybe being a system thing. But Matthew Sluka did show some skill. He did show he can sling that ball down the field when he wants to. He can also use his feet when he wants to. So not necessarily like a dual threat kind of a guy, but can definitely can just all around quarterback that can do it all at that kind of a level. So if the defense is what we think it should be, and that's improved from last year, the non-personnel mistakes all fixed and improved, then we should roll against James Madison. But I also wouldn't be surprised if James Madison put some points up on the board. This is an offense that did, like you guys said, bring a lot back. It was pretty high-powered last year, and I think got better at the quarterback position. So wouldn't be surprised if they get into the 17 kind of point range maybe. It kind of feels like a lot in game 2, but that's an offense that's going to go on to score a lot more than that per game that season. So wouldn't really be surprised. I still think we.
Will, this is going to be the first test for your favorite Ron English guy.
Yeah, I know. So in the article that I wrote previewing each game, I thought that Alonzo Barnett was going to be the starter for James Madison, but he actually has a knee injury and may be redshirting.
So did I.
So Matthew Sluka, like Roman said, is going to be the starter. I didn't think he would be because honestly, I'm just weird like this. I did watch a couple UNLV games early last season when he was the starter. I looked up his stats too. He threw 21 for 48 passes completed. I think it's like a 43% completion percentage. But the one thing that he can do pretty well, because he's very inaccurate, I was extremely unimpressed with him when I was watching, and when he transferred and people were mad at him and saying that, oh, he was such a great quarterback, I just didn't see it. But he can run, and that is the Achilles heel of a Ron English defense, is playing a running quarterback. So I do think this game will be competitive for a while. I don't think that they can stop our run game, but it'll be a little bit closer than people will want it to be. I think it'll be competitive in the first half. I'm going to say 34-17, so competitive in the first half, and then we kind of break it open in the second.
I love it.
I'm right there with you, actually, Will. I thought Barnett was going to be their starter team when I just started even this talk. I forgot that they got the UNLV kid. I didn't know Barnett was injured. Who was? It's you're switching one for the other. They're both fit that system they run. They want to run that option quarterback running quarterback, which Barnett was. He's a little smaller size, 5'10", probably quicker, but that might be me assuming by race.
He didn't run as much as Sluka did. He was way more accurate, though. I think he threw 26 touchdowns and 4 picks. I feel like it was above a 60% completion percentage. He was really accurate, and he only ran for a couple hundred yards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Sluka is probably a worse matchup for us than Barnett would have been, just because of the running factor. So we'll see.
I'm trying to my computer just froze. I was trying to bring up the schedule.
Brings us to Bowling Green.
All right, that takes us. That's right. Thank you. Sorry, computer froze on me for just a second, and my memory is very short term.
You're good. I think I memorized the schedule by now.
Yeah, when I was your age, I probably did too. Now, and I just try to remember if I got up to pee or not. Right, yet this tonight. All right, that does take us week 3. So everybody's got to cover everything. 2-0. Everybody, despite James Madison possible scare, 2-0 for everybody. Also, I would like to point out that the James Madison game also Louisville should be a favorite. I would think I'll probably bring that up.
Oh,
soon.
yeah. We'll probably
going in every game.
Double digit favorite. Yeah, like 13 and a
Okay.
half, 13 and a half. Yeah.
12. Yeah.
All right. Well, that leads to let's kind of throw that in here with our predictions as we go on, and that does lead me to Bowling Green, who is not one of the better teams in the MAC. To say something nicely, I don't know a lot about Bowling Green other than they did suck last year, and I feel like this is a game where Louisville, regardless of what, Louisville should win this game. I would say the spread would probably be at home, knowing what Bowling Green did last year. Just looking at it from a mirror, I'd say Louisville's probably a 16-point favorite, and Louisville covers in this game as well.
Actually, fun fact for you, Trevor, Eddie George is now the head coach of Bowling Green. I don't know if you knew that.
Wasn't he just coaching high school in Tennessee last year?
I think so, but now he's the head coach. But, one thing in the article that I wrote, I'm going to change my score prediction a little bit. I had it 49-17 Louisville. I'm actually going to put it down.
I will.
Sacrilegious?
Put it down to what?
Oh, no. Bowling Green score. I was going to make it 49-10. I'm not going to make it a tighter game. I don't know what I was thinking in the moment. It's a new coaching staff. Bowling Green is replacing a ton of talent, including Harold Shannon. I don't know if you guys remember. He was a reception god at tight end last year. So they're not very good, even with Eddie George maybe bringing in some hype. So we'll beat them down pretty easily.
For the record, I like to point out, not only was Eddie George coaching in high school last year, I think he was only coaching his second year of high school and his only second year of coaching any level at that point. I could be mistaken. You can question me on that.
I think he coached at Tennessee State for a second before that.
That does, now you say that, it does ring a bell.
But I think that was it.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was at Tennessee State, and I just confused it with high school because it's a similar level. Sorry, Richard Dent, Tennessee State alum. Hey, I pulled that one out my ass. Let's go KJ since you laughed about it. What do you see for Bowling Green?
I agree with Will. I really think, more so than the EKU game, this could be the one where you get like a 60-point blowout because we get a couple games under us coming out the bye. This will be easy.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I'm with you. I think we're up in that. I really do think we're up in that 42-plus range kind of again. I think we cover easily here. I think it'll be a win by more than 3 touchdowns, if I'm being honest. So.
All right, well, now the fun is over.
3-0.
Fun and over. Everybody's got us 3-0. This is where it starts getting less fun for us Louisville fans when it comes to predictions. First road game of the year. Back to Pitt. We all remember 2 years ago. We try to forget it, like when our uncle came to stay in our room when we were little. We try to black those memories out, but it's still there. All right. Now I know Louisville destroyed Pitt last year, but let's be honest, Louisville on the road in the ACC has been up and down to say the least. Even under Brom, and in Brom we trust. So at Pittsburgh, I'm going to say Louisville is, assuming that Pittsburgh isn't very good because they weren't very good last year, if I remember right. But I'll say Pittsburgh. I'll say Louisville by 7. I'm probably way off on this. I'll say Louisville doesn't cover 24-20 like game. Who wants to first tell me I'm too high?
Go ahead, Will.
I actually have the exact same. I have the exact same score prediction. So Pitt started 7-0 last year, then they lost the last 6 games of their season. Eli Holstein, their freshman quarterback, was pretty good. He got hurt, and then they had Nate Yarnell as the backup quarterback, and he sucked. But Eli Holstein did come back, and he actually played in the first quarter of the game against us, threw a pick, and then he got re-injured, and then we blasted Pitt. They lost in their bowl game to Toledo.
He was weak before he got re-injured.
No,
he's weak.
I'm not saying he's great, but he's not bad. I don't think he's that bad. Desmond Reed maybe masked his deficiencies. Their running back. He's a very good running back. But Yeah, I mean,
Didn't they have a good receiver too?
I feel like maybe, but Desmond Reed was like their bell cow, and he was the best offensive
Yeah.
player. But they lost to Toledo in their bowl game, 48-46. They looked absolutely terrible in that game. They looked terrible against us. But Pat Narduzzi is an interesting coach. I do think Pitt's going to be better this year than they were last season. Maybe not in terms of the win total, but just overall, roster talent. But yeah, I think that we'll win 24-20 on the road. It's our first road game of the season, but I don't think it's going to be like an insane crowd that we're going to have to deal with. I think it'll be a tough game, kind of grit and grind like it is a lot of times against Pitt on the road, but we'll finally come through with the win this time.
KJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same. I do. They do, interestingly enough, have two first team all preseason All American players, but the meat and potatoes of this roster is just it's not good. And I agree with Will. I think that's a very good point. I don't think the crowd's going to be really much of a factor, and I think it's a team you can just control run the ball, control things on the ground, and I don't really see much stress coming from this game outside of the demons that come with it because of what happened last time.
Yeah, fair. I do understand what happened last time we played them on the road. I get it.
And the times before that.
Okay, fair. I also watched what that quarterback did in that first. I thought he played into that whole first half last year. But that our Louisville crowd, no, not to be that crowd wasn't anything special that night either, and we could just completely handle them on both ends of the ball. And this Pitt team, I feel like, just had a couple of games last year. I mean, the defense helped them out in some of their performances, but that offense did not look great a lot of times at home last year, late in the season when you need to be figuring things out. And I get you kind of already started to go through some injury stuff too as well, not just with the quarterback spot. I think they had an O-line injury as well late in the season last year, I want to say, but that Pitt team, they don't scare me as of last year and what they did last year. And I don't think that they made enough changes at the skill positions to really strike a lot of fear into me. Now, that's also under the assumption that Jeff Brom will have made the strides with Ron English in the defense to improve it, and to make emphasis on the issues and put emphasis on the issues and do something about them as well. Now, if that hasn't happened, this does have the chance to be a lot closer game than I do want to do kind of think it is. I think it's kind of like a 27-17 kind of a game here, fellas.
I agree with that. I think that's
well. So I think everybody's. And if you look at, so that takes us, I guess, everybody 4-0. We're in the top 25, gentlemen. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Right. That would put us into the top 25, I believe.
Oh, I know he would be at that point. That leads us, I guess, into week 5. Yep. And that gives us a Virginia team who we had to go on the road with first last year and struggled with in a sloppy win, 24-20. This year at home, listen, I could tell you I know a lot about Virginia. I'm sure Will knows a lot more than I do. So I'll say this right now. Louisville will be a 10-point favorite. Virginia will get the Pitt treatment from last year because of the close and sloppiness of the week before at road game in Pitt. And Louisville beats Virginia 39-7. Will, did I copy you again?
I like that.
No. So I do think we win handily, but the last few times that we played Virginia, even back to the Scott Satterfield era, and if you guys remember in 2022, his last season, we started 2-3, and he was basically coaching for his job on the road at Virginia. And we had Brock Doman starting, and we won. I think it was 27-17, something like that. Brennan Armstrong was still their quarterback. The year before that, they had a 17-point fourth quarter comeback on us and beat us. Jeff Brom's first year at home, we had to have a comeback win. Last year, barely scraped by. So Tony Elliott, I don't think is a very good coach, but his teams are always feisty. Virginia did get a pretty good transfer class. I mean, hell, they took Monroe Mills from us, who I thought was our most talented offensive lineman. And they got Chandler Morris at quarterback, who transferred from North Texas. He's pretty good. But he is kind of prone to turning the ball over. I do think
that's Chad Morris' son, by the way. Right, the former offensive coordinator at Clemson, I believe.
That's a better question for you, honestly. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure it is. Well, I didn't know he transferred there.
Yeah. No, he's been all over. But there is potential for it to be a trap game. I don't think it will be, though, because we play Miami next week. But I say 37-20. They won't be able to stop our run game, and we'll just suck the life out of it.
Just like they couldn't last year.
Yeah, we just didn't stick to it. And Tyler Shuck probably had one of his worst games of the year last season.
We were up 17-7 last year. We stopped sticking to the run game. Then we couldn't score. Then we got into a bit of like a shootout kind of situation. It felt like interception happened, and then we were fighting for our lives. And luckily, went back to the run game. Back to the run game at the end of the fourth quarter there, and things worked out. That game was way closer than it should have ever been. I think that was like one of the weirder Jeff Brom games and one of those weird defensive games.
Our defense couldn't stop shit, and then they were automatic.
When we needed to get the stops, the defense was looked how it did all year, and then first down, defense was great. The defense was great all game at first down. Really weird game. 3rd and 6, the defense looked like it didn't know.
We
what
didn't
it was
know how
doing.
to guard Calandra. He tore us up 2 years in a row. So he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
No, he's a UNLV. So we don't have to take care of him anymore.
Yeah. And I just don't think they'll be able to. Duke Watson didn't really get it going in that game last year. I think that they will have even more of an emphasis at this point in the season on the run game, still on figuring it out with the offensive line. That there's just no way between those two backs. If Isaac Brown did that with almost 150 yards last year against them, and now you're going to have Duke, who at this point will have been fully integrated as well, ready to go. I don't see them stopping the run game. I'm with you, Will. I think it's a little bit less. I think it's I don't see them scoring like 17 points, if I'm being honest. And I don't see them stopping us from scoring like in that 30, 34 range. I think it's up there. I don't have an official score prediction on it. I'll go It's tough. I'll go 37-14.
All right.
It's like watching Peter chick between salad or soup. KJ, what do you got for me?
I'll go 34-20. I agree with Roman. I think the big idea here is offensively, I don't see how they're going to string any kind of stops together. But I will say I was in the same boat, Trevor. I didn't know really anything about Virginia going into this season, and so I was doing some research earlier. The vibe out there around this team is that, if there is going to be the year where they take a step under Tony Elliott, this will be it.
It's his make-or-break season.
Yeah, and they do have some people out there who believe that they could, take a pretty prominent step forward. So maybe we do get to this game and we're playing a better team than we thought originally, but I don't think they have anything for us. Pretty cut and dry.
They did invest a ton of NIL money into their roster.
It's Virginia. You win 5 or 6 games, they love you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to fire Tony Elliott if he doesn't make a bowl game.
And the best, well, yeah, and they got it on Dylan Morris. Yeah, first of all, I might know who his dad is. I just didn't know he even transferred there. I think he was out of eligibility or went somewhere to a smaller school. Because he was average at best last year. He's a quarterback that wants to beat you with his legs, but he's not going to beat us with his legs. I guess KJ going to something. That kicks us to kind of the biggest game of the year. Maybe, I don't know. Pittsburgh could have been a big game already at that point, but yeah, it's the biggest game of the year. Okay, it's Friday night. It's at Miami. The Snellenberger boot / pipe is on the line. It should be where like the early stages of what I'll be telling your kids. About how the early days of this rivalry, how we fucking hate Miami and they hate us. And it started here. It kind of started with Uridia, with that touchdown catch a little bit more, but or Kerry Rhodes dropping that interception. But I digress. Broke my foot on that play, by the way. Well, a funny story. Louisville at Miami. I'm so pissed. I kicked the wall and broke my foot. So drunk I didn't even know it till the next day. At Miami, prime time. Everybody's going to be pumped. I'm sure people will be there because it is a primetime game, and that's the only time people in Miami show up for a sporting event. But now the question is, will the Cardinals defense show up? Shootout last year. Shootout every year, I feel like, with Miami. lost last year. Not Cam Ward. Now you got the kid from Georgia. This is the one game. Now, we don't know where Miami's going to be, so this will factor into the – for my all shits and giggles, I'm going to say Miami's
Losing you
undefeated.
there, Trevor.
We're undefeated, all of us at 5-0, 3.5-point favorite. I'll say Miami
so,
minus Miami minus 3.5. Shootout again. The Cards prevail 6-0. Louisville wins in a shootout 47-44.
Jesus.
Yes.
I like it. I hope that happens. I'll let you go next, KJ.
I agree. Cards prevail. I hope we don't do the sweep here, but I don't know if it gets quite that high. I'll go 34-31. I like our team more than theirs. I mean, they have one of the best O-lines in the country, but outside of that, I'm really not bought into this Miami team. I don't like Carson Beck at all. I think he's below average, really, in my opinion. I think this is an unproven group of pass catchers. And I mean, it's built into this preseason 10 ranking that they take this significant step on defense. I don't think that's guaranteed. My really only concern in this game is, can we get some pressure on the quarterback? Because I do think they have a significant strength with their line going against our pass rushers, but I think we can just outscore them. I don't trust Miami. I think we prevail.
I'll let you go next, Will.
So I actually differ from you guys. I think we lose this game. So I'll explain why. We're not getting a sweep, KJ, so that's good there.
Yeah.
Miami got a new defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman, because they had a trash defense last season. If they really just had a top 40 unit, they would have made the playoff with ease because their offense was unstoppable.
And they had a top 40 defensive roster.
Without a doubt.
In college football, like not in the ACC, in college football. How many of those? Like 4 of those guys went in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, and now
3 of those guys went.
Now they have Ruben Bain back still, who's one of the best pass rushers in the country. We almost got him from Miami under Scott Satterfield, but he didn't commit to us. They got Corey Heatherman from Minnesota. He's a really good defensive mind. I think he will help them out. Maybe not this season because it's a process, obviously, but I think that their defensive turnaround will be pretty extensive. I agree with KJ. They lost a lot of receivers, most notably Xavier Restrepo. I don't know if Cam George is still there, but they have Mark Fletcher at running back. He is really probably, in my opinion, the most underrated running back in the ACC. He's a junior. Carson Beck, obviously, you expect him to be good, but he had that shoulder injury last year and a surgery. He was pretty inconsistent last season anyways, but Georgia really didn't have any offensive talent to help him out with. They were very stagnant, and that showed even after he was gone. They were worse. So I do think Carson Beck will be successful. I don't think that they're going to make the playoff because I just don't trust Mario Cristobal to come through when it matters most. But if we're 5-0 at this point, hypothetically speaking, it's a Friday night game in Miami. That crowd will be there for that game. We'll be ranked at that time.
You think so?
100%. I agree. I think Miami will be.
The chance of it being a top 25 matchup makes me think so a little bit, but a Friday night.
There's a lot of stuff to do in Miami on a Friday night, man.
If they beat Notre Dame and they are ranked as high as they are, and say they're 5-0 as well.
That was what I thought earlier. If they beat Notre Dame, this will be a big crowd. If not,
I still think they'll show up. It's a Friday night game. It's a massive game for the rest of this season. They do have the hype. Obviously, Miami is one of the most fickle fan bases in the country just because of how the city is. There's so much to do, like you all said. But I do think they're going to have the product to where fans are going to show up. This will be a tough environment to play in. If it was a regular, kind of how it was 2 years ago when we beat them, when they were just kind of mid 38-31, that crowd was trash.
Yeah.
And it was at noon, too. Yeah.
A noon game. We took advantage of that. We probably had more fans than they did in the arena. That won't be the case this time around. I don't think we'll get pressure on Carson Beck. KJ, that's, like you said, one of the keys to the game for you. I don't think that's going to happen. Mark Fletcher's tough to stop at running back, and I think it'll be a little bit too much for us on this night. The deck's stacked against us, so I take Miami 31-24.
I'm with you, Will. We wouldn't have got the sweep even if you had it, though. It's like KJ said, but this is a defense that I think the defensive line is also going to be an issue for us.
Yeah,
I think this is a defensive line with a new defensive coordinator that they're going to have the athletes and the depth on the defensive line to come in and what I think is going to be one of the tougher games for Miller Moss this season. I think Miller Moss is good, I think he's very good. I think he's bad when he gets put into tough situations. The decision making gets really out of hand. He tries to do way more than he needs to. And I don't know, like, if that was it has to be a product of the coaching actually out there with what he was receiving, what he was being told in certain situations. But you can't think that he's being told to hold the ball, try to go find the open man no matter what. And that's kind of what it seems like his mindset is. Get rid of it and get it to a receiver, even if it feels like I'm about to this pocket's collapsing, this pocket's going down. When he has to like make plays and throw on the run, like the full on run, it's not great in my opinion. And I just worry that this defensive line is gonna get a lot of pressure onto Miller Moss. The pass game is going to be not what we want it to be. It's going to probably be one of the worst passing games we have, I think, all season long. And I think because of the turnover battle, which I predict we'll lose in this game, I have a weird feeling that this will be the first loss of the season.
One final thing I do want to.
I'll call it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Will?
I was just going to say I'll call it like a. I think they win by like a field goal though. You know, I think that we probably have the opportunities to go and take the lead and then get a stop and get the ball back kind of situation, and that's where we're losing the turnover battle hurts us in my eyes. Kind of like
this. Exactly. The last thing I'll say on this, with Corey Huddeman in specific for Miami, Minnesota when he was there, I think he was the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. They had a top 10 defense in the country, both in rushing defense and passing defense, I believe. But one advantage we might have, because they will likely, Miami, run press man coverage against us and rely on their defensive line to put pressure on Miller Moss, like you said, Roman.
You know they will.
That's just Miami's MO. But they run a 4-2-5 defense. What that means is 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 DBs on the field. If they're in that base defense for a lot of this game, which is essentially a nickel defense almost, run the ball. That is your only advantage.
Isaac Brown should cut up.
Your only advantage
Isaac Brown should
on
cut
offense
up.
is to establish the run game as often as possible. I don't know if we'll be able to do it as effectively as we want, because I'm sure they'll probably key in on it and just hope that their 4-man rushes will get home. But if we can establish a run, that is how we can win the game. If we can't, no shot in hell, in my opinion.
Yep. I think this is like a 31-27 kind of game.
So I'm assuming both teams are undefeated, Miami being probably a roughly 3.5 point favorite. Everybody probably agrees to that.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you two do, since you picked us to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame has a good chance to beat them week 1, but they're starting a new quarterback, and it's on the road at Miami, so I think Notre Dame will be undefeated.
I'll say 28-31.
Yeah.
All right, well, that takes us to two people who still like Louisville, me and KJ at 6-0, and two people who are now dead to us, and Will and Roman at 5-1, and puts us back home. Bill O'Brien, who you think might still coach the Texans, but he doesn't. In Boston College, come to town. If I remember right, you guys remember my memory does sometimes go blank after a short term. You get to a certain age, when you learn a new fact, it replaces something else. So, like the other day I learned something and I forgot the fuck what a doorbell was. It was a crazy afternoon. Point is that if I remember right, this was the game Louisville was getting their ass kicked and we came back from 21 down.
It was 20-0
to get the win at Boston College, I might add. Yeah. So, that said, I know this is kind of maybe even at home could be a trap game let down, especially for me and KJ who are coming off wins, and unlike you all. I don't see it. I think Bill O'Brien obviously can be a decent coach. I can't remember if the mobster kid is still there.
No, he transferred to Florida State, actually.
The one that always interrupts Joe Buck's Tom Bredeman's apologies. Oh, yeah. That's good because they both suck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think Louisville doesn't roll in this game, but I think this is kind of a slow and sloppy game. They don't have to come back. Cards will come in favorite because they are 6-0. Boston College will have losses, I'm sure, at that point. Louisville will be a 9-point favorite, 9.5, and Louisville will not cover. They will win 27-20. But they will go to 7-0.
I'll go next here. I don't think last year, in my opinion, was a fluke. That was the worst half of football we've seen in the Jeff Brom era, in my eyes. First half. First
2023 was a shit show, but you're probably right. We scored a touchdown on that.
It was,
so we didn't get
Exactly. interception, punt, missed field goal, fumble. That's a crazy series of events happening in a game in which I feel like
You had to have it.
the offense was still getting to was getting
Yeah.
downfield more times than not. I mean, it was a weird, really, really weird first half game. Tyler Shuck turned it up in the second half. Still threw that interception late, but the little bit more of an understanding kind of a play where it happened then. I think we roll here. I think that they come into town here with this point in the season. What are you playing for at Boston College if you've already gone to lose maybe 3 or 4 of your games at this point? I think that you're not getting up for this game if you're Boston College with the hopes to really win it when you're going up against the Louisville team that's put a lot of points up on the board already this season. I think the home crowd will be all right for this game. It should come out just with the stakes of being a team that only has 1 loss going into a home game in the ACC. It kind of makes it a big game now at this point. And I think we roll here with ease. I'd say we win. We cover. I think this will be a bigger spread than we think. I think we win probably I'd say set by 17 points. I feel like maybe even probably 21, three scores. I'd say. I don't know what I'd call it. I'd say it's tough. It's tough. I'd say 38 to 12. Really, that's kind of what I'm feeling.
They get 4 field goals out of us.
Yeah. I really don't think they score. But we'll call it 34-17.
Well, I'll go next. I agree with you, Roman. I think I agree with you, and that was the worst half because, like you said, it was inexplicable. Is more so of the word I would use than even bad or any regular terminology, because we went down 20-0, and I knew we were in danger, but it didn't feel like it because it felt like we were down 20-0, but we were outplaying them that whole game. And I mean, say what you want about Castellanos, but he was dynamic running the football. They don't have that
We
anymore.
struggle with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got Dylan Longerman, a transfer out of Alabama, who we don't know anything about. So they got a huge question mark. I agree with you, Trevor. I really do respect Bill O'Brien as a coach this level, but I'm with Roman. I think Cards are 7-0 in my universe.
Pretty much in line with you guys. I love Bill O'Brien. I think he's a great offensive mind. Thomas Castellanos, if he didn't hurt his ankle in the game last year, I don't think we win that one, though, just because they had a few big plays against us, but when he was hampered and they couldn't run the ball anymore, that's when we took advantage of the situation.
They had to throw it, and he couldn't get out of the pocket. Yeah.
They just stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I say 37-17. We're going to bounce back from the Miami loss. I don't think Boston College has enough talent to compete, and their schedule is absolutely brutal. So at this point in the season, they might already be in quit mode. So I say we'll win pretty substantially in this game.
That puts everybody. So Will at 6-1. KJ and me are still fans, and Roman at 6-1 as well. And that takes us to one of the scary ones. We enter Sandman headed with no. I won't go into the whole thing. Say your prayers, it's a one. Don't forget my son to forgive everyone. Tuck him in. Okay, you know the routine. Players universe, as he like to say, and I agree. Louisville is 7-0, undefeated. So I don't know that they haven't announced a time for this game, but I don't know. I can see this game maybe even being a night game, especially if Louisville was undefeated and ranked probably in the top 10-ish at that point. This is it. This is my fear game. You know how I feel on the road. Louisville goes in regardless as a 6-point favorite, 6.5 maybe 7. I know.
8.5.
We joked. I think one of you said something about Virginia sucks, but they are a 500 team the last couple of years under Pry, and I think Jones is back. Will, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And
Fraud.
This is that Bulls 31-24. First loss this season at Vaught Tech. Fuck you, Metallica. Napster rules.
I'll actually go second on this one. So
We're supposed to
originally-
smoke up our ass to give us a win.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I originally had this as a loss. Honestly. I did change my mind on it for several reasons. One, Brent Pry can't coach for shit, and Virginia Tech has had very good rosters in terms of talent and continuity the past couple of years, and they've underperformed in both seasons. I think they'll probably go 6-6 again this year. They have a tough first 2 games at South Carolina, then Vandy at home, who they lost to last year. Yeah, Kyron Drones is back, but that's about it. They lost Facial Tootin on defense. They lost Aeneas Peebles, who plays for the Ravens now. I don't really think they have the roster that can compete with us, and they sure as hell don't have the coaching staff that can. But, like I said in my article, even Ron Cooper beat Nick Saban one time. So anything can happen in one game. In terms of the matchup, I would say we're likelier to win if it's a tough environment, though. If it's a noon game and Virginia Tech is 500 and the crowd is flat, that's when, at least in the Jeff Brom era, we're likelier to lose than not.
Why are we not getting up for this game type of a thing?
You got to think, in Pitt in 2023, it was a rainy game. Pittsburgh was trash. There was nobody in the game. Stanford last season, nobody was there. They, I think, were 2-8 at the time. And it sucked. And we kind of just let that game get away from us inexplicably. If it's a similar situation as that, I think we'll lose the game. But I do think Virginia Tech at that point will be like 5-3. Oh, lost KJ. We'll be somewhere in the 5-3 range, 5-3 range at that point. So the crowd will be good. Hopefully it's a later game, maybe 3:30 start time. And yeah, I think we'll come through just barely. I say 20-17 Louisville wins, but there is a good shot that we lose this game. It's probably a coin flip. So I just say U of L is going to win because they have a better roster and better coaching staff.
I can't agree with the that close of a game even really. I don't or a record. I mean, I think this is like a team that's maybe 3-5 going into this game, potentially like 4-4. I think maybe going into this game. I think that you've got a whole year of tape now on Kyron Drones. I think this is a team that its whole identity is get Kyron Drones to the back in space. It's not they don't rely on the pass game. Load the box up, put your athletes in front of Kyron Drones, get in some pressure on him, and don't let him tear you up because the offense is not going to do anything else. It's not going to create any flow in the passing game to go and beat you in the deep ball with the deep ball at all. And I don't even know if he can really throw it. If I'm being honest, I get him being hard on him right now, but he's this outside of the inside the intermediate game, he's pretty good, especially on the run. The short game throws on the run, he's great because he's on the run so much. The deep ball is not great because he doesn't throw it a whole lot because he runs so much. You know what this offense is. Jeff Brom has seen these kind of offenses last year go and prevent Kyron Drones from beating you, and he's not going to be able to get the ball to anyone who can beat you. That should be the game plan here. I do think they're kind of beaten up on a little bit. I think they lose to Georgia Tech. I think they lose to Vanderbilt. I think they lose to South Carolina. I really don't know if they beat NC State and Wake Forest, both of those teams. I think they're kind of all in that. Well, not Wake Forest, but I think it'll be interesting. The fact that they go to NC State is interesting. I don't know if coming off 2 wins, though, I think at Old Dominion and Wofford, they should beat NC State, but I just don't think this passing game is very good at all. And I think that Ron English has enough knowledge now on what that means to go and prevent a running quarterback from running all over you. So I'm going to trust that a quarterback who doesn't also have the ability to throw it doesn't go and kill you. And we get a win here. I think you're right about the crowd, Will. That is the one worry. I worry that if it's a pretty much inactive crowd, then you don't get up for this game. You don't have that energy pregame. You're not out hitting hard from the very, very start, right? But at this point in the season, with what's on the line, with what you potentially only having one loss, you don't have the ability. Like at that point, you shouldn't even have the ability to not get up for every single game you've got on the schedule. So I'm going to hope that the time of day doesn't impact it. But like you said, if it's a 7 p.m. game, granted that it does make the crowd noise better, a lot worse for us to have to deal with. That's almost the energy there makes it better for us than having no energy at all. So that was longer than we agreed on.
3-7-1. 3-7-1, KJ.
Yeah.
Where in your universe,
No,
we
I'm
still
actually
undefeated?
with you, Trevor. This is my first loss of the season. I think this is the one where some weird shit happens. I think this is
Oh
the one where you
no!
get the really bad Miller Moss game. And word around Virginia, I'm with you, Will. I don't think Brent Pry can coach, so I don't think the step comes. But this is another one of those programs where they brought in a new offensive coordinator, and so Roman, they're swearing this is the year Kyron Jones really makes it work, and there's some belief around that camp out there, but I think we just come out and play like a real C- game and just get caught out
Yeah.
comment,
21 to
subscribe
14.
down below. By the way, it looks like we've got like 400 live viewers in here at the moment. Not
Thanks,
displaying that number on the
thanks to Mike.
restream here. Yeah, Mike gave us the retweets. Shout out to you guys, all 444 of you all currently watching. It's only telling us that there's one live viewer in. But comment down below what you guys think. If there's anybody kind of agreeing that Virginia Tech has the ability to be a really scary game this year, let us know what if me and Will are crazy thinking that we're going to go cut up on Virginia Tech, or if Trevor Kelsey and Kendall Fuller are right in thinking that this is the game that we really need to be worried about because of this crowd and us being on the road going up against a running quarterback. Let us know in the comments down below.
If Troy Taylor
That puts us
can
everybody,
beat
by
Jeff
the
Brom in
way.
a game, Brent Pry can do it. So I hope not, but
All right,
we'll see.
two things. One, that puts us all at 7-1 going into this little home stretch. Second, how much do I love the fact that I don't know about everybody watching, but I can say right now between the four of us, I was the only one that actually watched Ron Cooper beat Nick Saban in Michigan State live on television. That would have been Redmond would have been quarterback. That was a very sloppy game. And we don't bring this part up, but the year before, when Michigan State had Tony Banks at quarterback, they beat the shit out of us. They beat us like 30-7. So that was that. But we beat but Cooper the next year. Tony, I love the Tony Banks reference just because he was a good friend of Dave Bergones, who I did radio with for years. I got to do some radio with Tony Banks. He's a fun dude, and he loved. And that was always an in-kind joke between the two of them in Michigan State history. All right, that puts us 7-1. Now we don't have to go to the West Coast. Thank God, maybe after what happened at Stanford last year. Fuck, dude. But you know what? Cali, it's not legal here just yet, but they'll be here. Game day was fun for California last year with Pat McAfee and everything. Great atmosphere.
Yeah.
The season was up and down. I have no worries here. Louisville should be, again, I think at this point we're 7-1. An 8-point favorite, 8.5 maybe. I think Louisville doesn't have any problems. They bounced back after the Virginia Tech loss in my universe, maybe in KJ's too. Louisville wins this game. I'll say, as I'm watching Liverpool and Newport highlights on the TV, I'll say Louisville wins
Newcastle
31 to 7. Thank you, my bad. 31-17. But not as close as it may seem. Late touchdown makes it look closer. 8-1.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That.
I'm with you. I'm gonna go 30-13. I think they bounce back. Cal was bad, not good last year, but they had some decent talent. They got stripped of all of it this year. I mean, they do not have good players on this team right now. I don't think it's gonna be any problem at all.
I pretty much feel the same way. They're interesting. I like Justin Wilcox as their coach, but they have Brian Harsin as their offensive coordinator. If you guys remember him at Auburn, a disaster at head coach.
Oh yeah.
Ron Rivera is the team's GM.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But they lost Fernando Mendoza to Indiana.
Hold on, real quick. I don't know what the funnier part is: the fact the team has a GM or it's Ron Rivera.
Both. They have a GM.
I mean, I love the fact there's college teams now with GM.
Cal,
GM
the college team Cal has a GM.
Exactly. and they're picked to finish 15th in the ACC. I kind of agree with that. I think we beat them 45-17. Just walk all over them.
I think you're right here. I think this is a game. Well, partially. I think it kind of like I'm more so with you, Trevor. I think it's like they get a late score. I think it's maybe we start off slow here. Just home game, Clemson ahead, coming off a big road win. It's in your eyes potentially. I mean, in my eyes, but you potentially thinking we're coming off a loss. I think we're coming off a win in Virginia Tech. I think this is the stinker that we win, if that makes sense. It's a home game, and those stinkers have tended to be on the road. But I do think that this is like a game that it starts off like, what the heck? What's going on? Why is it 10-7 ending the first quarter against Cal right now, right? Kind of a game, and kind of maybe a slower first half, just coming off of a big win on the road against a team that is going to probably try to play a little bit faster than we would want to go and play, but they don't have the weapons. I think we pull away late in the second half here in this game. We end up kind of winning this one 37-14.
Everybody has his 8-1, and you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night. Honestly, it makes me feel old to think the game was 1 year ago. So, in a way, the statement sounds true. That what I wanted to say is that this is kind of your guys' generation of what that West Virginia game was to me when I was 24 or 25. And that game occurred, and at the time, kind of one of the biggest games in Louisville football history. Thursday night, number 4 versus number 3, I think it was 4 versus 5, whatever. Huge. I mean, great. I mean,
3 versus 5.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I can't say enough about it without wanting to go sit in the bathroom and lock the door. So you got Clemson now in this situation. Louisville 8-1, probably going to be in that top 10 area still, I would assume, at 8-1. Let's say Clemson 15, similar. Yeah. Let's say Louisville, Clemson comes in now Friday night. I'm sure we'll do a color out because if there's a game to do it for, it'd be this one. You have prime time. You're probably going to have 2 teams, top 10 teams, maybe top 10, 12 teams. The ACC probably on the line at this point for leader of the ACC. I think Clemson maybe has 1 loss. And it might be only to LSU, which is out of SMU, who knows, but then maybe slip up. One thing about this game in terms of predicting it from in my standards is that this is the one team I don't have to worry about what they did to the transfer portal because Dabo doesn't believe in it. This is like me and Phil Steele's like wet dream right here. Like, I don't have to worry about being like, is that guy coming back? Is that guy leave? He doesn't bring in transfer portals. So it's beautiful. I can just look at last year's stats old school way and be on my toes. But I didn't need that much homework, so fuck off. That said, Louisville, big-time game. Louisville comes in as a favorite, 8-1 versus 8-1. Let's say Clemson at the time. I'll give 1 loss. Louisville comes in 2.5 point, 3-point favorite. That's the home field swing. And Cards – I might be doing this on my heart because I fucking hate Clemson. I really do right now.
I think it'd be 1-point favorites if we are.
It may be. You might be right. I think they'll be favorites nonetheless. I'm saying Louisville wins this game in a similar fashion, shootout-wise, opposite from last year to what we saw in the original West Virginia game. Louisville wins 42-38, 9-1. Oh, and by the way, real quick, fuck you, Dabo. Next.
Yeah, this is the big one. I
just want to throw that in there.
I said in my article that if Louisville is 8-1 and Clemson is either 8-1 or undefeated, that this, in my opinion, is the biggest game in U of L football history, whether it's regular season or postseason. And the only logic behind that is that we would be 8-1 at this point, and we would have a chance to make the playoffs still. And this would be the biggest game in our history at this point in determining if Louisville can take the next step as a program or if it'll be relegated to a team that can be relevant every so often, make a run at it every so often. But if we really want to, under Jeff Brom, become a program that can be consistently top 25, consistently contend for college football playoff bids, you have to win this game. So I do think that Clemson will be undefeated coming into this one. They have to play at Georgia Tech. They have to play LSU in week 1. I'm not as high on Clemson as some people believe, but I'm also not as high on LSU and Georgia Tech as they're as much love as they're getting in the preseason. Cade Klubnik he's a good quarterback, but I think he's a system quarterback. We kind of exposed that last season. He relies too much on the short game. Also was a beneficiary of a really good run game under both Will Shipley and Phil Maffa. Both of those guys are gone. Phil Maffa was great last season, but we bottled him up, and they were trash.
And a great offensive line that played bad against us.
Yeah. Yes, and one thing, we destroyed them up front the entire game. Well, on both sides of the ball, really. But Clemson has an amazing defensive line. They do have Wade Wood as at linebacker. He's one of the best linebackers in the country. They have weapons on offense, but this is, as much as we hate on Jeff Brom for losing a clunker, this is his masterpiece. Honestly, this is what he does best: is winning these big games. And will be the biggest game in his life to this point. It'll likely be a color out, like you all said. It'll probably be a sellout, especially if we're 8-1 and this much is on the line. It'll be an absolutely unhinged environment, and we're going to be up for this game. And I do think that we're going to win it. I say 27-24. And if Louisville does win this game under these circumstances, they're in the best shape they've ever been to win the national championship, or at least be a true contender for it. So, fingers crossed.
I'll go next here. I've got a loss, fellas. I hate to do it. I do think this is our one home loss on the season. As much as I agree with you, Will, that we win the big game every season. In the last few seasons, we've done it. You beat Notre Dame 2 years ago. You beat Clemson last year. I don't think that with what they've got returning, the couple pieces that they've added, the couple freshmen that they've added that are probably going to be play now kind of freshmen this season, I just think that defense is going to be too much for Miller Moss this year. If I'm being honest with you guys, I think we're going to rely too heavy on the run game. They're going to prevent the pass game from being one that puts a lot of points up on the board in its own. I think this is kind of going to look similar to the Miami game, fellas. I do. I think it's kind of a shootout, a low-scoring shootout. If that makes not really, that doesn't exist. But one of those, multiple scores, but it kind of stays close the entire game. There's also a couple turnovers in this game as well, just because I do think that we're going to have the know-how to make things tough for Cade Klubnik. You're going to press tight on his wideouts and not give him that short gain option, kind of make him rely on the run game and do what you need to do in the defense to stop the run from eating you up, which we kind of defended the run well all year. That was the one thing the defense did do well, is prevent running backs in themselves from going crazy on you. There's a couple games where they had some good games, but I do think that though the linebackers in this game, they're going to get to Miller Moss. I think by this point in the season, if you can get to Miller Moss, you make things tough for Louisville's offense and its pass game. And I think Dabo and Cade Klubnik and them, or not Cade Klubnik, and that defense is going to take advantage of this. What's that one defender's name? The linebacker they got coming back. He's like that. He's going to be the best defender in the ACC.
It's Wade Woodaz. But one thing I will say too with their defense, if they try to stop the run, that is where our advantage actually comes from, is that when you try to commit all those guys to the box, what do you have to do? You have to play one-on-one man coverage. And their best cornerback is A.J. Terrell's little brother. I think A.J. Terrell still plays for the Falcons, Avion Terrell. But he's only 5'11", and we actually diced him up last season. If he has to guard Colin Lacey, he won't be able to stay in front of him. If he has to guard Chris Bell, he will baby and Moss his ass all night. So if they try to commit those guys to the box and stop the run like they couldn't do last season, I actually think Miller Moss will slice and dice them. So I think they're in between a rock and a hard place on defense, and they may just have to play base coverage against us all game, because they're damned if they do stop the run. They will probably be damned if they don't, because I don't think.
But in that base coverage, I think they've got the linebacker play to.
Yeah, I think I was going to say that. I think they can just do that. I really do.
I mean, you're saying if they only have 6 guys in the box, that they're going to be able to stop Isaac Brown and Duke Watson routinely all night.
I think they got the speed and the strength to prevent both of them from going
crazy.
They
had all those guys last year, and we.
That's true,
gentlemen. I love the passion for a November 14th game. Let's say, and fuck Dabo. I agree. KJ, we gotta get KJ in here.
I just don't think Miller Moss is the same presence in the pocket that Tyler is. My thing.
You could be right.
I'm with Roman for the exact same reasons. I think this is a game primarily you're going to need an A game from Miller Moss. I don't think you get it. And I think this is a game where we could struggle a little bit running the football. I mean, is Clemson, they have 2 guys who could go top 10, top 15 off that D-line alone in Peter Woods and TJ Parker. I think they really can get away with just playing base coverage. I think they'll get in Miller Moss's face a little bit. And I'm not the biggest Miller Moss fan. I think this is a game where you don't have the roster to go with Clemson like you did. But, Will, you made a good point. I mean, these are the same guys that we just kicked the ass of for 60 minutes straight last year. So, I mean, but, yeah, I think defensively it's going to be a little too good. I think they take it and go 24-21. No, yeah. Yeah, I think Clemson wins. Yeah, 24-21.
Okay. All right, well, takes me. That means me and Will get 9-1, and you and Trader Joe over there are 8-2, and that leads us going into a game that I should be scared. First of all, I want to say this real quick. One reason I fuck Clemson, for more reasons than one, I don't want to put anybody on blast or however you kids describe it, but anytime I'm in St. Matthews, I somehow always end up getting caught behind some slap nuts who's got a Jeep. It's purple and orange Clemson gear. It is, and it's got like Clemson paw prints on the back. I mean, it is all Clemsoned out. And I just want turning lane. I mean, like, hell's up, fuck you, Dabo, and just really get, be an asshole to him on the road and keep driving. That's all I just want. I have little things in life that bring me joy. That's one of them. That and Louisville being 9-1 in my universe. That leads us to Dallas, where this could end up as bad for us as it did for JFK. It's okay. I think we've made enough time. I think I can make that. I think I can make that reference now. I think I'm good. I think we're clear. So that said, I don't think so. Listen, I think Louisville will be. I don't know what SMU's record might be at this point. I think they were. I know they're getting a lot back from last year, but yet I think they got a little more lucky last year. I mean, they lost to Clemson. They got lucky to beat us, and the rest they just beat up an average ACC schedule, which is what we're doing this year. So that said, even at Dallas, I like Louisville in this game. I think payback. I think Louisville wins. I'm going to say 30. I'm going to say 44-24, and Louisville goes to 10-1.
Got a loss here, fellas. Got a loss, third loss of the season, last loss of the season, fortunately.
Am I really the fattest homer here?
I worry about this game. I worry about Kevin Jennings coming back and Ron English and this defense being one that is not at the same level of SMU's offense with the pieces that they've got returning and Kevin Jennings and what he can do with the run game and what he can do with his arm. I think that they expand on what they did last year, maybe not necessarily record-wise. I do think that offense looks even better, though, this coming season. And with them being, at this point, maybe a potential playoff team, I do think that home crowd's better than non-existent. I don't think it's going to be some hostile environment by any means. But I think they'll get them a good, nice, just regular type of crowd for a I don't even know what you call that. But I think that offense is a well-oiled machine, and this defense has the potential to struggle with it again. And if it's a shootout with that kind of offense and we're not able to get any stops at all or stop the bleeding, I worry. I think it's a loss on the road.
I disagree slightly.
Well, Roman was on the grassy knoll, apparently. Will, what about you?
So I disagree a little bit. So I'll say this. As much of a critic of Ron English and his defenses that I have been, I don't think that, and I will admit too, that after they scored on us on the first drive last year, I was one of the people who booed the defense because it was a pathetic showing up to that point in the season. And it kind of was for the rest of the year. But really, SMU, they had a great offense last season, but they capitalized against us. They had a great offense. Oh, somebody's echoing bad. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
It's better now.
That would be my pod die.
Oh, gotcha. So they capitalized off last season on coverage busts. That's how they scored on us, and that was a product of us playing them in the first half of the season. And they also didn't have to deal with Isaac Brown and Duke Watson like they would have if we played them later in the year. They don't have a good enough run defense to stop our run. I do think that now we have a more mature defense. Will be more keyed in. I don't think our defense is going to be great this year, but they won't be marred by coverage busts that make them a terrible unit like they were last season. So I do think that we'll win this game 31-27. It'll be close, but I think that the tide will shift in our favor slightly against them this year.
I will say this is my toss-up. This is the game that
it's definitely.
I think it's a win. I in my heart, I think that we've got the roster to beat them. I just don't know if the defense is going to be able to get the stops when you need to. Now, I agree, though, Will, with what you got to see last year, the emphasis you got to put on that, basically the mental mistakes, the lack of communication, the being in the 2 feet out of position before a snap because of the lack of communication, right? I do think that all should get fixed. Granted, I do think that this offense also figures some things out and adds some things to its game as well. I think they added a couple pieces in the portal as well. I think they added a couple skill positions. It got better, got a little bit deeper in the skill position department. I don't know if it's enough to come and make anything drastic, but they've got the tandem there and the Kevin Jennings. They've got the running back as well. Like you said,
is Rashard Smith back? Their old running back?
I think so.
No, he plays for the Chiefs. He's actually. I thought he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's in the
Oh,
NFL.
he got drafted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is a toss-up. I actually had Clemson.
Never mind.
beating him at first too.
I thought he got drafted.
So,
I don't know if he got drafted.
So
Real quick,
definitely a toss-up.
I had to drop out for a second, guys. Sorry, when my earpad switches, it takes the volume off. I technical jargon. But Will, real quick, did you pick a Louisville win or not?
31-27 Louisville. Yeah.
So you guys are 10-1. I know Roman, you said a loss because you're a douche. And by the way, trust me, if anybody's going to spend money in the portal, whether it's allowed to or not, it's going to be SMU. We've learned that over time. KJ, did you get me? Did I miss a prediction from you?
No, you're good. I'm with Will for the most. I'm with Will. And I mean, if a lot went wrong on our behalf for them to be able to win this game last year. I think that is a big thing. And I think it being early in the year, as you said, Will, is another huge thing. The running game was not anywhere near the level it got to. It was nowhere near the level it'll be this year. And they lost quite a bit defensively in the portal. I do think Kevin Jennings is a legit superstar. He's a prolific guy. But I think if you line us up, I think we can control the clock. We can run the football. And we just make a few less mistakes. I think we should win this game. I'm going to go 31-24.
I'm with you there. If you can prevent the mistakes, you should be able to win this game.
And to go full circle, I believe the coach there now is the guy who replaced Chad Morris, the son of the father of Dylan Morris, who we talked about earlier, is now a quarterback.
Brett Lashley.
I think he replaced Chad Morris from there, I believe, at SMU. I might be wrong. There might have been somebody in between. When Chad Morris left Clemson as OC, he took the job, I know it, at SMU and failed miserably.
They also have to – they got to play a way harder schedule, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. By the way, I like how when I joined back in, we did like the Brady Bunch thing. We moved around. Like now we're above me and like KJ's. It's crazy. All right, that leaves us with one more guy. By the way, in case you're just joining us, in our own universes, in mine, by the way, I'm 6'9" and have 3 legs, like Greg Olson. But Louisville's also 10-1. Roman, the man over there who you want to beat like the shirt he represents, has Louisville at 8-3. KJ, the man to my left now, 9-2, respectable. And Will, who is the smartest one amongst us because he has the same record as me, at 10-1 as well. Guys, that leads Louisville pretty much, I think, going to the ACC championship game, regardless of the way our predictions worked out. Maybe not in Roman's case, but in 3 of the 4, I think ACC title game spot should be in pretty much locked up. This is a non-conference game to finish up that season. Oh, yeah. Y'all remember, let's do it. Let's do it like we did to Clemson. Let's do it. That's what I want. I'm going to pass that fucking Jeep. When we beat Clemson, I'm going to go like that. I don't care if I have to drive with my legs for a block and a half. I can do it. I'm going to drive right past them the whole time. I'm going to go like this. Watch them just get pissed off. That said,
I got a win here.
Kentucky. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't pick a win here, I'm hanging
That's
up.
brave.
Louisville
38-7.
I'll take 34-14. Kind of think similar score last year almost.
41-14.
41-14.
I say we went 41-10. Kick their ass. Fuck UK.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50-10. Fuck those guys.
They have a brutal
the
schedule.
40-point dub.
They're gonna be ass.
Their
My
program
thing-
is fried. You can record me, make this a meme if we lose, like I'm Eric Wood and Chris Mack back in the day.
Give me
It's not
60-3.
We're kicking their ass.
Is there any chance Stoops has been fired by this game? Y'all think?
No. They want his buyout decrease.
I hope not. I'll tell you right now, this is going to date me. You all don't remember Gary Faust, who used to coach Notre Dame. He got beaten so bad in his last game, it was like 60-0 or something. I can't remember they were playing. I think it was Miami. That they just ran him out of town. That's what I want to do. I want to beat this be his last game, and we beat him so bad that like he just taps out and just gives up. I mean, that just right now. I mean, that's the only thing that saved them from more like big dog jumping ship jokes. That alone in its own right is just so. And that's a juicy tidbit that can get you all through the summer radio. I know how that is. It's a tough time to do. But when big dog jumps ship on you, oh, come on. He's at recruits. He's at the Brahms family Thanksgiving, giving L's up and shit now, cutting the fucking turkey, sharing the dark meat. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. It is a train wreck there. And like, you had your time. You had your moment. You all had to go through a little bit of rough patch last 5 years or so. You know, congratulations. But the pendulum has swung, and the ass kickings continue. Louisville, I think at this point, even with Roman being a negative Nancy over there at 9-3, like the douchebag he is, I think Louisville is kind of. I think all 4 of us are saying is in the playoff, right? Yes.
I think if James, you probably need James Madison to run the table. But
it all depends on the ACC championship.
Yeah,
really. And Roman's not really too far. I don't really disagree with Roman. I originally had us at 9-3. But I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
So SMU's a toss-up for me, man. It's the way that, and you guys are right. The fact that Duke Watson didn't really do anything in that game, if I can remember correctly, right?
Against SMU?
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, it was all
integrated yet.
I mean,
so
we
and I think about, but he had like 100 and something rushing yards, Kevin Jennings, on us, and I get one of them.
He had that 60-yard 4th and 1 touchdown run.
Yeah, like, the one was massive.
Yeah, inexcusable.
All right, guys, real quick. So I think you know what, we'll get more into every week as the games come on. I think we'll hopefully have a post game. I don't want to tease anything for Saturday. Maybe if I can get past learning how to not use a dial-up phone like I have in my house. Yes, I still have a home phone line, by the way. I'm the only one here. I also have a drawer with all my old remotes in it, including a Dish Network TV remote, which I don't know why. I've never had Dish Network. And
wait, Trevor, did you say 10-2 or 11-1?
I'm 11-1.
So we got 11-1, 10-2, and 9-3. We do have all 3 answers.
Yeah,
all of us got us covering the win total here. Okay.
Real quick, because we've been a little long. That's okay. Unlike when I lost my virginity.
We're gonna save the non-con. We'll save the non-con, Trev.
You want to do it real quick?
No, we'll save it. We'll save it for its own video.
All right. Well, we'll save it for time because I know next week we'll have the post game. We can do it next Monday on the Monday night Spiel. Because we will hopefully
we can get that out in the daytime. It's Labor Day. We don't have to compete with anybody that day.
Hopefully, we'll have a post game here. You guys will be on with me maybe roughly around 7 o'clock on Saturday night. I promise you, I'll be at home doing nothing except celebrating a dismantling of the Colonels, which for someone who also went to Western Kentucky would be very proud.
Maybe you might have to run it without us, without me at least. It's my mother's birthday that day. Shout out, moms. So I might be with her in the evening after the game, but we'll see. We'll definitely be out Monday for sure next week on a recap of the game, and then we'll also get our basketball non-conference predictions out. We're gonna do the same exact, pretty much what we just did, except for the full basketball non-con. Now that was released today officially, so
I promise you right now, we'll have a post-game show. If I'm joined with somebody, great. If I'm not, I made it through 3 years of high school with doing it for myself. I can do a show by myself. Except for the girl that cheated on me and I stayed with her, and you want to know why? Again, she did me.
Trevor.
All right.
Don't listen to him, kids.
Don't do that, kids. Don't do that.
Don't listen to him.
Have sex in high school? That's the best time to do it.
No, go back to a cheater.
Oh, well, it depends how bad she's cheating on you. I mean, come on.
No.
I mean, she was only kissing him.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was.
No, it's still not good. It's
wasn't like she was
principle.
snowballing me or something over here. I mean, come on.
And with that does take us here to our outro of the show.
Saturday, maybe with somebody, maybe not. Who knows? Tune in and find out. And Monday night,
what happens when you let the show run too long?
Do the non-conference and talk about EKU win and preview James Madison a little more in depth. I promise you, I'll do my homework. Till then, Roman, sign us out. Will, bye. KJ, peace.
Thank you all for listening.
Go Cards.
Like, comment, subscribe down below. If you want to sponsor the show, just send us a DM, send us an email, reach out to us. If you want us to do a post game show, comment down below. Let us know. DM Trevor. Tell him you want him to host a post game show. We'll make that happen as much as we can this season. But like I said, thank you all so much for listening. This is going to wrap us up here on the Real Spiel Live show. We will be back next week, and go Cards.
Go Cards.